Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel, and this is same series of that Blazor Webassembly. And in this session we'll learn on view implementation. Okay, so once I click the view, and it will render, or it will go to that view page and show the details of that that block. Okay, so let's get started to move. So click on the view and see it is rendering, it is land in the blog list page, and it is passing as a parameter, and based on the parameter actually it is getting the data from the service, and it is binding as a this page with this image and author, or whatever contain actually over here. So it is a very simple design, but yeah, in the real time you can just take it a nice, or create a nice design based on your project requirement. Also, we have implement that back button. When you click that back, so it will go back to list page. Okay, if you click another one, so see the Maui one, so it's get it over here back. Okay, so let's get started to implementation. So far what we have implementation, like see, we have implemented in this series. So bind that list, edit, delete, and everything, create it, edit a new blog, everything. But yeah, so now let's start for view implementation. Okay, so let's open that project. So far what we have done in this project, so this is the same example. Okay, let me run this application and see what we have. Okay, so we have that button, but this button, once I click, see, nothing happen. Okay, because no implementation inside that. Okay, so let's get started and go to your Blazor WebAssembly BASM project. And if you don't aware this project, or you don't know how we are implementation so far, so I'm especially recommend to you go to my YouTube channel and check out my this WebAssembly Blazor WebAssembly series. Okay, there's a all the session over there. Okay, and also you can take this repository. I'll share this repository in my video description, so you can take this repository in my video description as well. Okay, and now let's open the pages folder and go to your card list. Okay, and see, this is our that view, what's called, it's view button. Okay, that's, but here is a nothing we have implement. Okay, so what need to do, first we have to create a click event. Okay, as like whatever we have done, edit or delete. Okay, so similar, we have to create on add on click event. Okay, inside that click event we have to create some event. Okay, so how we can create it, we can directly pass a event, but yeah, if we required some passing a parameter, so we have to use the lambda expression. Okay, so let me create a lambda expression, just because we have to pass whatever item, whatever list inside the item we are trying to bind, so that item we have to pass as a parameter. Okay, so that's why we have to trying to create a lambda expression, and it is called as a details block. Okay, so let's call it to block detail, or let's make it to block details. Okay, and let's pass to block dot id, and it is block details. Yeah, that's fine. So it is complaining me because see, okay, just stop, because we're trying to do while running the application. Okay, so it is complaining. Okay, that is expected, because see, we have created event, but we have not implement. So let's implement that event. Okay, so let's implement on the last. Okay, so make it to private, and make it private async void. Okay, that call that event and pass it to integer id. So this is id, whatever we'll get. over here. So see, now error should be gone. Okay, so this is gone, so that is fine. Now what we need to do, we have to once I get this id, so once I get this id, we have to call our details page. Okay, so if I want that detail page, so we have to create similar we have to create a component where actually we bind that data, okay, of the details page data. We have already add new blog page, we have added blog page, but yeah, we have to create, see these are all the pages over here. So I again we have to create another component. So right click on this pages, and choose that razor component, and let me add that component name as blog details. Okay, blog details, and let's add. Okay, so see, this is a pure pure HTML, like HTML part, and it is a code behind part. Okay, so what need to do, similar whatever we done in edit functionality or add functionality, so same thing we have to done over here as well. Okay, and one more thing actually required, actually see, first let me set it the route. Okay, so that we can call this component from anywhere in this another page or another component. Okay, so let me add a page directory, already explained what is that. So let me add that page directory as a base URL, and then what is our page name, and what is the a router we can set over here. Let me set that blog detail detail blog details, and then we have to pass the parameter as well. Okay, so how we can pass that parameter, like you can set it that curly brackets, and then set it that whatever id means whatever name we have to pass over here, and this parent component. Okay, so that pass, and also we have to set that what is the type. Okay, so it is an integer type, so we have to pass that id. So based on this id, we will call our service and get that those data. Okay, so this is done. And next things what we required, we have to call that our services. Okay, so where is our services, this is our services. So we have already created that service, actually see, get by id. Okay, so we'll pass that id, we'll get this blogs detail. Okay, so this service we have to call because we have to bind, right? So if you go to details, so we have to bind based on this id. So let me call you know let me call first, let me inject that service. So how we can do that, I already explained. Okay, so let me get this code. See, like while injector, and there's a two way, so I already explained, but I don't go to again to details. But yeah, let me explain a little bit. So let any services you want to you know inject, you want to call in this component, so you have to inject it that service. So how we can do that, there's a two way. You can directly import over here at inject and then call this service name, or directly you can just code block, you can set it like that way. Also that bring the namespace of that services. So this is your namespace inside that services store. And then one more stop is required, one more service, that navigation. Okay, so this is concept already explained, like how can navigate. So before navigation you require that inject that navigation manager. Okay, so these two things is done. And one more things we have to record, see, we have to pass this data from parameter from here. Okay, so once you pass that here, so definitely you have to map this id from here. So how we can do that mapping, that property, simple, let make it public. Okay, and integer and blog id, and let's set it to get and set. Okay, and make sure this is same, should be same. if it is mistake anything like you pass over here, so this whatever URI parameter you pass from that list component, you will not get over here. Okay, and one more thing you have to do, let me add some attribute. Okay, so what attribute we have to need? Parameter attribute. Okay, so that is done so that other component can understand. Okay, so this ID we have to pass over here, so that should be bind. Okay, that is done. And one how okay, so one more thing we have to do now. Next we have to call that method. Okay, get by ID. So how we can do that? And this component have a many life cycle. Okay, so which I already explained. So that life cycle also need to call. So let me call override. And what is our first life cycle of that component? All the component of razor component here, like on initialized async or initialized. Okay, so it's two things, one is async and without async. So this time I will call that async. Okay, and remove that one, and now we'll implement our implementation. Okay, and one more thing. Okay, let me call this method this service and get by id, okay, and pass it to id. Where is our id? This is parameter id. Okay, and then this, and also just pass it to, it is actually async method, so just pass it to await. Okay, and already one you paste is await, so it's already async. Okay, that is fine. And now whatever data we are getting, we have to store over here, then we can bind our HTML. Okay, so this, see, it is return type of the blog. So let me create that property over here. Okay, private we will use on inside this class, so let me make it to private. Okay, and also this model does not has a reference, so let me bring that namespace and let me add is a blog. Okay, blog details or blog, I think blog details, that's fine, detail. Okay, okay, and let me store this data over here, so that whatever data is getting in this service we have stored over here. Now finally we have data. Okay, whatever is component required based on the parameter, we have data. Now we have to bind the data over here. Okay, so how we can do that? It is very simple. First we have to check at the rate, we have to check, okay, this data has a, if it is not null, it is null. Okay, if it is null, because sometime might be it should be null, it is not proper bind. So if it is null, okay, so what should be written? Just simple, no blocks detail found on this page. Okay, so let me paste on some style or uh, some HTML. Okay, else if it is not null, that means we have data. Okay, so let me add over here some data, I mean some style. Now we have to, okay, let me, okay, so we have to record some style. So if you go to bootstrap, so you will get many style. Okay, so again we use that card view list over here. So let me get the design, will not waste your time, wasting a time to write a design. Okay, so see, this is a straightforward design. Okay, so simple, I'll create a div inside a container div, and we'll create a row and also the column. Okay, this is a one column, and then inside the column I use a card view. Okay, and this card view I create a image, will I as a create a image property. Okay, image control, and whatever image we have, that I'll try to bind over here, and whatever details I need to bind in this card body we have to bind. Okay, it is very simple, just change it to edit block to this. Okay, because we have stored our data over here. Okay, so that's why just store this, change it to this, change it to this. Okay, and this image URL, this blog has a image URL. Okay, so let me change that properly. That's it. It is a straightforward, simple, straightforward, HTML. Okay, whatever HTML required, you can just go to Bootstrap. You can take it and you can, as per your convenience, you can set it. Okay, and what more? What need to do more? Okay, let me run this one first. Like check it is built or not. Let me build this application. Make sure whatever we done, so that is working. Okay, one more thing. Okay, sorry, one more thing I forget always. See, I create this on view click event. Okay, but we have nothing to do over here, right? So what we need to do, we have to call this navigation manager. Okay, so that we can call that component. Okay, whatever our component. So navigation 2, and just pass it to like similar like here. Okay, so dollar, the dollar, and then whatever our page name, this is page name, component name is blog details, and this is our component name. Just pass it to here, and also we have to pass that parameter. So this is our parameter. Just pass it to like that id. That's it. Okay, so this is done. Let me run and see. Definitely two few things is still pending, so that will cover also. So let me see what happening. So click here. Okay, see, now once I click, so it is called one, so I'll getting that one. There's a missing that back button. Okay, so that will implement. Yeah, not click home again. Just check like other also is working. Like my is definitely is a second, so it is a two. It is a my, and see, it is working fine. So let me minimize and let me add those button as well. Okay, so that is missing. Okay, not this one. Go to block details, and here what need to do, we have to again some style. So let me remove this one. Take a div, and we set as a bootstrap row, so that it is same line, inline, creating these two things like left hand side, that block details, and right hand side, that your button. Okay, so button name is called back to blog list. Okay, and we have also creator that on click event, and this in click event we have to implement here. Okay, this is simple implementation like private and void. Just paste to that. We don't have any parameter, and simply what need to do, we have to back to our list page. So navigation to, and set it to your path. Okay, so our path is a base URL. Okay, that's it. So this is done. Everything is done, and let me reload, and let me open. See, back button is there. Once you back, it is there. Once you click any others block, it is go back. Okay, so that is working as expected. Okay, so okay, let me show in a demo as debugger mode as well. Okay, so let me put some debugger, like how is that working. So where is our component? Our component is block details. Let me debugger over here. Okay, the debugger is not working, so let me close that, and card list page. Okay, let me run one more time. Okay, so let me click view. Once you view, okay, see the debugger point over here. See, we getting one, and what will happen, it's so it will call navigation manager and navigate to our block detail page. So where is our block detail page? Let's continue. So see, we are landing in our block details razor component. Inside, where is calling, it is first life cycle is calling. So on initialize, lifecycle is calling, and here what is it trying to do? It is calling this service. So this is our service, iblock service. So this has a method. If you go to implementation, so let me put debugger point over here. So see, that is over here. Then whatever data is there, it will find and fetch, and then it will return. So see, this is the data, whatever data we have, that may return. And see over here, it is very simple and straightforward. Let me back. So far good. Okay, so if any question, any query, if you think okay, no, I didn't understand, so Blazor WebAssembly, so insert, update, delete, read, everything we have done. Okay, so far. So next we'll actually will try to do whatever we done. Okay, so it is a very basic level we have done, like simple way. But yeah, in this next session, in this series, we'll trying to do actually advanced level, like we can use this componentry, how we can make a reusable component, how we can use that parent child relationship, how we can create a callback function, and so that our child component has a some implementation or some method that I need to call in this parent component. So those are things we'll do in this next series. Okay, so till now, thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.